Hi guys, Pete Mazeris, the Home Inspector Mentor, here to talk to you about auxiliary equipment or auxiliary inspections. Some go hand in hand, some don't. So first off, drones are becoming more and more popular. Some old school inspectors like me poo-pooed drones because we felt, or at least I felt, that a drone is not going to be as thorough as me walking a roof and probing and picking up shingles and checking for adhesion and damage. And I still think that's true. When a roof is accessible, as a thorough home inspector, you should walk it if you feel comfortable, and you're safe doing it, obviously. But the roofs that I couldn't walk, which were roofs that I couldn't get to from the ground, and basically I was not going to carry around a ladder that would go up 2 stories. So if a house was from the ground up a colonial, so 2 full stories, and I couldn't get up to that top roof from the lower roof, like a garage roof, because I would bring another ladder to, set up on the lower roof to get up to the upper roof, then I had to just inspect that roof from the ground with binoculars, which certainly is not any more thorough than a drone that would take nice close-up pictures of that roof and allow for a video inspection of it versus me standing on the ground with a pair of binoculars and taking pictures from that point of view. And of course, in inclement weather, as we get in Northeast Ohio, I'm not going to get up on a roof if it's rainy, icy, snowy, wet, whatever. And again, if that was the weather condition, then all I could do was either take pictures outside or from a upper window, or again, inspect it from the ground, which is not going to be very thorough. So that's where a drone would have helped me if they were available and affordable back when I was doing inspections full-time as a single operator. I would have definitely taken it, or I'm sorry, employed such a piece of equipment in my inspection, knowing that that piece of equipment doesn't allow me to really charge extra for it. So there's a difference with a thing that you can use in your business that costs you money, an asset like a drone, versus a thing that maybe you can use in your business that you can add a extra inspection fee for, such as a sewer camera, which is the next thing I would like to talk to you about. If you have never employed a sewer camera, then I urge you to look into that. I think it is a fantastic tool for home inspectors. And the nice thing about a sewer camera is that you can charge extra for it. It's an upcharge, okay? Same thing with doing radon tests. Radon tests, whether you use a continuous monitor or a charcoal drop, whatever it is, it's an extra fee and an extra inspection that you can add on top of your home inspection fee. Back to equipment where you can't really do that would be, in my opinion, a thermal imaging camera. So I've played around with thermal imaging cameras over the years, and of course I wasn't really wanting to buy a $5,000 camera, professional grade camera that would allow us to do maybe commercial insurance inspections, which would be a add-on service if you can get into that market. But otherwise, the justification for doing thermal imaging camera work on a home inspection may be good for marketing and the handful of clients or potential clients that may ask if you do that. I've had maybe 3 clients ask me in the last 1,000 inspections if we did that, and I just say, we used to, but we did not find it useful, so we don't do it. And I left it at that. So thermal imaging cameras, I am not very impressed with their utility or usefulness beyond some very basic things that it can do, such as, obviously visually identify when a radiator is heated or a hot water pipe is heated or an oven is on, or radiant heating, in-floor heating, that you can't see the radiators are heating up. But you can do the same thing with a $20 laser temperature gun. Okay, accomplish the same thing. Now, the thermal imaging camera is useful for finding spots that may not have insulation in a home and potentially leaking areas, which as far as I'm concerned, I'm not that convinced that the lower grade models that I was willing to purchase under $1,000 were able to do that, and so that's why I gave up using them. Okay, same thing with identifying hot spots in a electrical panel. So all those things are way beyond the scope of any home inspection standard that I'm aware of, whether it's a state standard or a NACHI or an ASHI standard. And so how much business can you get by advertising that you use a thermal imaging camera? I haven't been able to monetize that in my business. Maybe some other home inspectors have, but as far as home inspection equipment use, I would prefer to use a sewer camera and a drone before a thermal imaging camera. Okay, so what other equipment is out there? There are the CO detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and combustible gas detectors. I used both early on in my inspection business. Again, items that maybe make you a more thorough inspector possibly, but things that aren't going to really maybe directly increase your inspection revenue, unless because of using such equipment you get more business than you can handle and you increase all of your pricing that way. Otherwise, you're not going to really, I don't think, be able to charge for extra for using those pieces of equipment, which again, not required by any standard that I'm aware of. And I ended up not using them eventually after I was in the field for a while, because I didn't really find them useful, because you can smell a gas leak with your nose. Of course, if you don't have a sense of smell, obviously, those are important pieces of equipment to have. Believe it or not, my stepson can't smell, and so he would have to use that equipment if we used him in our business. What else? As far as equipment that is expensive and potentially can be used to bring in more inspection revenue, we have mold testing equipment, and we use that equipment to upsell or actually sell the service of mold spore testing. And I think that is a reasonable thing to have, with a payback, at least a reasonable service to offer that does have an inspection payback. Those are some of the pieces of equipment that I've used in the past. I have personal experience with. Not the drone. Actually, we do have 2 drones. I have two of my inspectors use the drone, and actually the one inspector who would walk roofs really loves using the drone now, even though I continue to encourage him to walk the roofs. So if you are looking to continue to improve your business and you are not offering any of these services or employing some of this equipment during this slowdown that we're all having because of the mortgage rate increases, this is a good time to investigate what additional equipment you may or should be offering based on what your competition is offering, as well as what services that equipment might be able to allow you to charge more for, right? So like mold testing or sewer camera inspections, okay? You know, you purchase the equipment and you get a payback based on being able to charge extra for those services. Whereas, you know, you not necessarily are able to do that with a drone or a thermal imaging camera, to my knowledge. And if you are, it's probably very small or incremental, but those pieces of equipment may make you a more thorough inspector and may bring you in more business overall that way. So I hope this was helpful. Hope you guys are starting to get busier as we start to get through January, and I'll post some videos in the future about that. Otherwise, everybody take care.